On a rainy evening in March, 500 people braved the thunderclouds and impending nightfall in Nairobi's biggest slum to come out and watch an open-air premiere. The film they came to see was Soul Boy, a new movie set in the Kibera slum that tells the story of the daily lives and myths of its people through the eyes of a young boy.
Lakini baba alisema stories zenye hawa ni uongo.
Ati nini? Tafuta shadow, the darkest shadow.
Nishaimwona Mungu mmoja.
Nisho pale ndampata.
Usinikaribie. Ukinikaribia utajuta.
Nataka baba arudi.
The man behind the movie is Tom Tykwer, a German director of international renown who has directed actors like Dustin Hoffman and Clive Owen and who produced and part financed Soul Boy.
Well, there's an initiative that's called One Fine Day, and they're working together with another NGO called Reuters Africa, and they're doing art educational classes here in the schools in Kibera and in other slums in Nairobi. And I was quite impressed with the way that work was really reaching out to so many children who had no knowledge about their artistic abilities. So I thought I would like to join, and the only thing I can do is film. So I said, let's try and set up a film workshop here in the area. And the first thing that happened to us was, of course, that I said, okay, the first thing I believe in is that people who want to do film should already have been in contact with something that is, they should have done maybe a short film or a video or anything. And I found out that there's quite a vibrant film scene in Kenya, and in particular in Nairobi. And so we connected with all these people and tried to create a crew out of not so experienced people and brought them together with experienced people, and all that became the crew of the movie that was then Soul Boy.
Samson Odhiambo plays the lead part, and until he was cast was just an ordinary Nairobi schoolboy with no acting experience.
It was on a Saturday, 2008, when I heard from my drama teacher that there was an audition in the Kenya National Theatre, so I had to rush there. I rushed, and I found like the interview was being wrapped. It was like being concluded. So I just did my part, and I waited for the results, and it turned out positive that I could do the role. Yeah.
With the help of a Kenyan production company, Kenyan film professionals willing to work for free, and a bit of extra funding, the shoot got underway in Kibera. Kenyan-Ghanaian filmmaker Hawa Essuman directed under Tom Tykwer's tutelage.
Excellent, let's go in.
I would call it a local film with international polish. That's what I call it. Because Tom came here to show us how to make an art house film, because that's what Tom knows how to do. We have no shortage of our stories. The co-writer, Billy Kahora, wrote a story that he felt was Kenyan, that he felt was local. So the story is most definitely local. The people who worked on it, 80% local. So yes, the actors are local, the language is local.
They allow us to work with world-class directors and world-class crews to be able to get our game up. Because we have amazing locations, we have amazing stories to tell. What we don't have is crew. We don't have enough crew.
It's very hard or rare to find that someone from Kibera is being picked, while there are many people who are were present during audition time.
The day that we were filming the scene where the phone thief was coming up the street, and I think we'd booked 20 extras, and everyone on that street participated. Everyone. And it was wild. And you cannot do that if a community is not behind a project. You cannot do that. You cannot have that. To have that sort of support is priceless. You cannot buy that.
Action!
There's a thriving low-budget film industry here too, where films are made in 2 to 3 weeks and released straight to video CD, which are then sold for around $3 at informal video stores.
Hey, stop.
The problem, say Schwendemann and Tykwer, here when they presented Soul Boy at the Berlin Film Festival, is that filmmakers in Kenya still don't really have a lot of options.
There is no industry for more individualistic filmmaking. There is a little industry of filmmaking there, and there are some really nice B-movies being made, and there's also some, there's all kinds of stuff, but there is not a big range of productions that have, a personal note and where there's like what you could call auteur filmmaking. So that's what we're trying to provide now.
The big test for the filmmakers was the night of the Kibera premiere. To them, the most important critics were in this audience. And from what they told us, the feedback seemed positive.
I really like the movie because, for one, it's nurturing some young talents from Kibera, and that is something very positive. And if it's something that was shot in Kibera and it was brought back for us to view it, then that's very good and very kind of them to bring it back. That shows they appreciate those that did the movie and they intend to work with people from Kibera, and that's good.
Kwa hiyo movie yenyewe imenibamba, show yake ni poa.
I have really enjoyed the movie. The actors live here and I know them. They didn't use actors from a wealthy area, and I also like the fact that the actors are Kenyan and specifically from Kibera.
Soul Boy was shown in a mainstream cinema for 2 more weeks after the premiere, but turnout was low because it wasn't advertised, so no one knew it was showing. But then it was never made to be sold. It was made to train Kenyan filmmakers and to give them some exposure. Already it's raised funding for another film to be made, so that the crew can build on the experience of the first, and hopefully eventually find a market for their films, so that more Kenyan filmmakers can make a living from fulfilling their artistic dreams.
Wewe, unafanya nini?
Najaribu kuelewa.
Hiyo ni sawa, lakini sifikiria hapa ni mahali pazuri pa kufikiria. Tafadhali twende kwingine penye ni poa.